It's me again. I'm here to discuss I'm here to discuss a little something called sync ratios for the role-playing game Adeptus Evangelion. Now, anyone who's seen, the anime for Neon Genesis Evangelion, you all know that, well, the sync ratio is one of those things where the best way I could describe it from my experience with the anime out of all the 5 or so episodes I watched of the original series is your sync ratio is stable when you're in between 60 to 80. Otherwise, if you go any higher than 80, any higher than 100, you get turned into Tang. So, now what is Tang? You know that, how at the grocery stores we sell the powdered Kool-Aid, so to speak. Pretty much what Tang is, well, that's essentially what Tang is. But in Neon Genesis Evangelion and Adeptus Evangelion, what happens is, if you reach a certain height for your sync ratio, which in AdEva, that's able to be done because the angels just, angels or aeons or whatever you want to go with, it all depends on what the GM is doing. Like the one I'm playing in right now, during the week, we are doing something, well, the GM is running it in the theme of Lovecraft, and I do like it. I'm going to say that. I do like it. It does have potential. I just don't... Right now, my thoughts in the game are... I can be a bit of a conspiracy theorist. So anyways, back on subject. Sync ratio, what it is pretty much... if you get too high of a sync ratio, you turn into Tang, or LCL in this case. Recently, about 2 sessions ago, we had a player that wanted to see how far he could take it. So what essentially happened was, we're fighting these 2 snake angels. And so, we start the battle off, everyone's at stable sync ratio, or stable sync. Then as the battle begins to progress, the Zanya, we'll just say Zanya for now, she ends up, getting more of a more sync influx, like she kept, getting 1d10 sync every time she took, every time she took sync disruption, what would happen is Zanya's player would roll 1d10 and decide if it's going to be good or bad, or positive or negative. So every single time he took sync disruption, the character's sync ratio just kept going up. First it was like, 70-something, 60-something, and, excuse me. And so what essentially happened was, the character kept getting sync disruption. She kept, adding that on to, her sync ratio, which it went from 68 to 78, then from there, 88, then 98, then 100. Now, what happens when you turn into LCL? Well, the best way I can explain it is you become one with your Evangelion at the time. And also, if you reach, 120 sync ratio in one battle, you end up getting, I think the traits were Heavenly and Angelic or something like that. I could maybe be wrong on this. I'm still reading through Dark Heresy 2nd edition, because you know, I need to focus on that. Also writing my Pathfinder campaign in the meantime. But the thing that happened, and mind you, we don't really know what was going on. And so, I'm playing a Berserker, and there's these other, we have 2 point men, a skirmisher who's long range at the time, and Zanya's an AT tech. And so, what pretty much happened was, the sync ratio got, you know, so high up there that the character just turned into goo and became one with her AdEva. So pretty much what we ended up doing when we got back to the base, they, you know, pulled the dummy plug out and ended up just opening it up, and all this goo, you know, spilled into the LCL hole. Now, what happened is Zanya reformed, but there's this table that you get to roll on, and it has various little effects, and normally you would have to burn a fate point in order to keep yourself from becoming full-on tank. Now, Zanya, her player rolled a willpower test and managed to make it. So, what happens next is one of the reasons why you don't want your sync flux to go up past, you know, maybe 78 or 79. Because even then, that's cutting it dangerously close to the razor. Pretty much what happened was Zanya reformed. Only the thing that was different about her this time is, you know, her skin is now like, it's not steel color, but it's like it's a different color, like I think it's white or something like that. I could be wrong. But the main thing that I really don't like about this, because we're, you know, out of character, we're like, you know, you really should start lowering your sync ratio. If you keep getting sync feedback, or sync disruption from this, and your ego, oh, that's right, the ego barrier is one of the other issues you have to watch out for, because if you, you know, get all the way down to 0 ego, LCL, and you turn into Tang, so you would have to spend another fate point, or burn another, and pretty much, we were warning, and we were, you know, telling him, you know, telling the player, you know, you really should start, taking negative sync disruption, so you're able to, you know, be stable again. It was like, no, I'm gonna be going, I'm writing this out. I'm gonna write this out and see what happens. We're like, oh, okay, if you insist. And so, what happened when the sync ratio in this campaign got too high for this player, the screen, instead of, you know, I don't know how it's done in anime, because I couldn't really stand Shinji at the time. I need to go and rewatch the OVA of the reboot. And so, pretty much, what happens next is terrifying. The screen goes blinding bright white, and then it just stops and goes black. So we're in our the rest of us are, you know, in our AdEvas, we're fighting these giant snakes, one of us being thrown around. The first time I dodged in, and second time I was like, you know what, we really do need teamwork in this, and so I managed to caught him, and I took a majority of the second throw's damage. after a minute or so, I think, maybe 15 seconds, what came from Zanya's video feed in her EVA was, well, the black mist, this black mist started to seep out into all of our other AVAs, and I'm like, oh shit. We need to get this taken care of quickly. Ops director, and I don't remember. Oh wait, no, we're out the sticks at the time, so we didn't really have access to the ops director. I think we might have, I'm not sure. But pretty much, hey girl, I know. Pretty much what happened is, as soon as we got Zanya out of the dummy, or not the dummy, yeah, the dummy plug, and into the LCL pool, and when she reformed, well, you know, we had to roll willpower, see if we continued to look at her first, and we all managed to make that. So, pretty much, the issue, returning to the main issue of this video, LCL and EVA, if you end up playing Adeptus Evangelion, make sure if you ever get, you know, feedback, or not feedback, but sync disruption, and when you're fighting an angel, it's not a bad idea to let, you know, go up, it's not a bad idea to have it go positive once if you're, you know, like 58, maybe 60 with your sync ratio. But don't overuse, don't just keep going, oh, I'm going to have it as a positive, I'm going to have it as a positive. It's not ever a good idea. What is it, girl, huh? What is it? Am I talking about the big scary monsters that attack cities? Oh, you just want to be a part of the show, don't you? Don't you, huh? Come on. Oh wait, no, you're not allowed up here, but... But yeah, sync ratio, if you're gonna do positives when you have to get sync disruption, maybe once or twice. But don't do it don't keep going positive, because that leads to some really bad shit, and believe you me, you don't want it. You don't want it because it makes you more like the angels. You don't want it because it'll make you, you know, this big painted bullseye for the angels to attack, and that's a Berserker and the Pointman's jobs, are to be attacked. Honestly, it's kind of one of those things where you need to really pay attention what you're doing. This is the second AdEva game I've been in. The first was when Slumsy, someone who doesn't game with the group anymore because bad things, so to speak. His was more along the lines of the show: Giant Monster Attack of the Week, then School Problems. Giant Monster Attack of the Week, School Problems. So, honestly, Adeptus Evangelion is a fun game. It really is for what it's worth. But, just, if you play it, as I said, be careful of the sync ratio. Because you don't want one that's too high, you don't want a sync ratio that's too low. You do need to be careful. It's one of those things where you can end up screwing yourself over really fast, and you really don't want that. Anyway, this has been Chris, or Blinking Killer, or whatever. I will see you all next time. Have a good day. Goodbye!